I'm quite ignorant, really, of the about Libya, only what I read in the press and the media. And I think I represent a lot of ordinary people that are really quite worried about what is going to happen. They're going to have elections, but this, as you said, is a huge country. It's never had an established government in the past, as you've rightly said, just a dictatorship with no infrastructure, government infrastructure. I think a lot of people are worried that this is going to end up maybe a bit like what happened in the former Yugoslavia, as happened, maybe Iraq. We could have another situation where the country is divided up into different states and everybody's fighting each other. And I know sort of word on the street is that that's what people are worried about. I just wondered, you've mentioned all the challenges, but I wondered whether you felt that was a very real problem.
I don't think it will. We had a big exercise looking at this question in March this year, looking at the risks to stability. Libyans, there are no parts of Libya that would be economically and politically sustainable, separated from the whole, other than perhaps the East. And the East, politically, someone floated the idea of federalism, which was code for as much separation as we could get, and was immediately slapped down very hard by everybody in sight. This in spite of the fact that the person floating it was the oldest political prisoner, the longest standing political prisoner under Gaddafi of all, of a very significant family in the East, had every credential for floating in the idea. Everybody reacted violently against it. I think that the way that Libyans have got used to doing things during this last year is a style of business that is not tense between areas. There is a standoff between Misrata and Zintan. Somebody was late for a meeting in my office. Sent me a little text saying, "So sorry, there's a gun battle outside your front door, I can't get in." It was because the Zintan and militias from Zintan and militias from Misrata were having a bust-up. But it wasn't an existential threat to the state. Half an hour later, and people had sorted it out, told them to wind their necks in and behave themselves. So I don't think there is that kind of permanent threat. It could happen, but I think it's very unlikely.